Hi! In this video, I want to show you how to customize templates for your business in a quick and easy manner using the Digibiz24 Page Builder, allowing you to also end up with a beautiful and conversion-optimized final product. I'm going to introduce the whole concept to you in this video using this template, namely the sales page from the EasyChat theme. So, let's get started right away. To understand how the Page Builder works, you should think of the parts of this website as building blocks. Each element you see here is a building block, otherwise known as components in the Page Builder. They are outlined in yellow. So this video here is a component, as is this logo, this headline, this normal text, this button here, and the navigation and so on. But how do you edit the different components? Well, there are two ways to do this, depending on the component. For all components excluding text-only components, you can simply click on the component to open its settings. Or if that doesn't work, you'll find a gear icon if you hover your mouse over it. Click on it to get to the settings. This is where you can edit the component. With the text components, however, like these two here, you can adjust the text quite easily here. If you want to change certain settings, such as the font or size or color, then you have to move the mouse over it again and click on the gear icon again. You will then find the corresponding settings here. Since it would go beyond the scope of this video, I'll not show you all the components with their respective settings. There are countless settings per component type. So if you want to adjust something on a component, it's best if you just have a look at its settings. Don't forget, however, that there are up to 3 different tabs here, so make sure you've looked through them all when looking for a setting. And if you want to make it easier, many components already have style templates in the Styles tab for you to apply with a single click. This often saves you from having to play around with the settings yourself. However, I would still like to discuss the most important components that exist in almost every template, making sure that you know exactly how to customize them. We have already discussed text components, so I would like to start with media components. You'll find them everywhere in your templates, especially in the form of logo placeholders, which of course you should definitely replace. To replace images, like the logo here or the thumbnail of the video here, proceed as follows. Go to the component settings by clicking on it and then click on the image icon here. You can then upload a new image using the field here on the right-hand side. Once you've done that, you can select it here in your library and confirm by clicking on Insert. Then the new image will be used for the component. And you can adjust the size of the image using these sliders. For media other than images, namely videos or audio files, you can only specify the URL to the respective media. You can't upload them directly here and select them as you did for the image. So for the audio player, upload your audio files first under Files. Copy the URL for them and paste them here. For videos, however, you should upload them to YouTube or Vimeo and then paste the URL here. But now let's go to the next component, namely the button component. All settings for this can be found in the component settings, which you open by clicking on it. Here you first have to change the button text at the top as well as specify at the bottom here a button action. In other words, what should happen when someone clicks on the button. Here either a URL is opened, which you define here, the order form of a product is opened, which you select here, or the pop-up is opened, which you can create using this button here. I explain exactly how our pop-up feature works in the video that is now linked in the top right-hand corner. Once you've customized the buttons, there's one last component that appears in all templates, namely the navigation, which is displayed both at the top and the bottom. You can set which links are listed here in Digibiz24 under a separate menu item called Navigation. I also explained this in the video that is now linked in the top right-hand corner. However, if you only want to adjust design-related things such as font, font size, or font color, you can do that in the component settings, which you can open by clicking on it. Once you have adjusted all components, there is still the question of how to adjust the backgrounds of your template. For example, here I have a green background. This can be done really easily. If you move your mouse around in the Page Builder, you'll often see rectangular frames flashing up. If they are yellow, then they outline a component, but we've already discussed that. But there are also these so-called rows as the next size, which are outlined in blue and where the components are placed in. You can also edit them by clicking on the gear icon, and here you can set a color as a background for this row, or as before, a background image via the image icon. But now I have only adjusted a narrow part of the page and not the green background that I wanted to change. If I want to adjust the green background, I still have to look at the next larger unit, namely the sections. They are marked in turquoise and can be edited again by clicking on the gear icon. You can already see that the green background has been set as the image. If you want to edit this, you can simply select a new image or set an overlapping background color. So, in summary, the biggest ones are the sections that are marked in turquoise, and then they are followed by the blue rows, which then contain the yellow components, and you can edit all of them by clicking on the gear icon. But, to just give you a little more information about the rows, as you can see, they can also consist of several columns. For example, here there are 2 columns. Here there are 3. And here there is only 1. If you don't want to edit the whole row, but only one column, for example in this 3-column row here, the column on the left, then you have to access the settings for this column not via a gear icon, but rather this symbol here, that's visible if you hover above the column. And then everything works as usual. So, now you know all about customizing your template using the Pagebuilder. But what about if you want to add and position new components? Or what if you want to create completely new page areas? There are a few things to keep in mind here, which I'll explain in the video that's now displayed.